I think that should be it. Let's check our various services. Are we up and running on Twitch? Rooney? Maybe it's time I add a hoodie to my merch store. Are we live on YouTube? Okay, merch store. All right, and is the chat gonna go through? Let's find out. Yes, it looks like the chat is working today. Oh, no, we want this so we can get the chat in there, and the chat is there. All right. So today is just going to be a quick one, off schedule. There's been a little confusion because, well, for me personally, because I've been hacking in the dialogue and we had some long instructions, so I want to put the button at the top, but I've been kind of using it myself a little bit and I'm actually not too fond of it. So I'm going to try to add a static button, put these buttons statically at the bottom of the dialogue, kind of like I've done it for the dialogue in the mobile app. So, and the way I want to do this for now is to just add it as a sort of new feature in the framework. So because you can add buttons just, by adding button elements, right? But this is kind of a special thing where there's an options object, sort of, that just has generates a bunch of buttons automatically. And what I want to do is that whole thing, that group of buttons, can be set to be at the bottom. And if I can do it just via CSS, that would be very nice. So let's see. Let's use the pause dialog here. Show pause dialog, right? So we have this options object, which basically just lists options, right? In this case, there's one option, but if we pause from here, we have two. And the idea would be that those two buttons would be stuck to the bottom somehow. And I'm guessing, kind of naively, if I take this dialog options and then just kind of style it, maybe position fixed or something like that. I don't know. So let's say position fixed. If I do this, right? Bottom 0. Okay. So the problem is something is not relative that should be. I don't actually know what's being scrolled. Is this being scrolled? 736. I think this is the thing that's being scrolled. So we probably need to do position absolute. So there might be something in between. Position fixed. All right, we're gonna have to look this up. Select position attached, maybe. No, not scrolling. Position fixed. Absolute relative. Let's have a quick look. If we change this from position fixed to absolute, it still scrolls. Position overflows, scrolling Y. Position absolute translate. Now, when we're scrolling this, let's have a look how the scroll mechanism works, because maybe we can modify, or at least get some insights from there. I thought it would be all this simple, but maybe it's not. Where is it? Grab scroller, grabby scroller. Grab, resolve. I thought that would be here somewhere. Nope. Find grab. Grab to scroll. No, scroll. Touch scroll handler. Okay, it's inside the utilities thingamajig here. Fair enough. Make scroll handler. So attach scroll handler. Let's see if this is used on the dialog. I think it is. Pretty sure it is. Attach scroll handler details. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know if that's a problem. Well, I gotta figure out why I cannot position these elements the way I want. So, if I'm scrolling this, that means this dialog thing, the contents of this is scrolling, right? So we have overflow Y auto. Okay. And then dialog options. So if we make this position absolute, then top 0, and position, and then so it's position absolute, but it still scrolls. Okay. So CSS position attached without scrolling. Scroll and fix content. How to fix sticky not working. Properties set. Okay, so maybe we can't do it if it's overflowing. Place the function as overflow visible. Make position sticky work with position sticky. Sticky. I didn't know that was a CSS standard. Static, relative, absolute, sticky. It is. Sticky. The element is positioned according to the normal flow of the document and then offset relative to its nearest scrolling ancestor and containing block. Nearest block level ancestor according to table determined based on the values top, right, bottom, left. And offset does not affect the position of other elements. Its value. New stacking context. Note that the stick element sticks to its nearest ancestor and has a scrolling mechanism created when overflow is hidden, even if the ancestor isn't the nearest actual scrolling ancestor. Not entirely sure that's exactly what we want. But let's try it. I don't remember sticky being the thing. Well, that seems to make it scroll just the same. Okay. There we go. That's what we want. Except sticking it to the top. We want to stick it to the bottom. Why does bottom not work? Positioned top, right, bottom, and left. Computer is treated as relative positioned under its containing block across a specific threshold. Top to value other than auto within its flow route and container scrolls within, at which point it's treated as stuck until meeting the opposite of it. Oh, is that? I think that stops it from scrolling off the bottom of the thing. Ooh. Oh, that's not exactly what I want. So what if we do top calc 100% minus 2 rem? Yeah, that sort of kind of works like I would expect. Let's try that. So, dialog. Let's find the dialog styles. Dialog options. Here we go. So if we do position sticky, and then top is calc 100%, and the options element is supposed to be, well, it's got buttons in it, so I can't, maybe I can presume on its size. Kind of sucks that it has to be top relative though. So sticky CSS. Can I use? Let's see. Internet Explorer. Don't care. Or mini. Chrome until 52. I think that's okay. Yeah, it's doing this with a sticky. Let's use position. Now, what about fixed? Relative absolute sticky. Static. The element is positioned according to the normal file of the document. Top right left have no effect. This is the default value. Relative absolute fixed. The element has been removed from the normal document flow and no space created for the element page layout. It's positioned relative to its initial containing block established by the viewport. As it has a transform perspective or filter property. Or they will change property set to transform, in which case the ancestor behave as the containing block. Note their browser and consistency with the perspective filter. Position sticky vs fixed. This seems like a weird little thing when I just want something to not scroll. I want this behavior, but I'm not getting it. Let's try fixed again. I wish there was single line comments in CSS. Position fixed and bottom one rem. I'd like to have the bottom definition. I don't have to worry about how big the thing actually is. CSS position fixed. Scrolls. I don't want it to scroll. So what I've currently got. I'm in a fixed position, but it's larger than the height of the current window, and there's a way to allow this to scroll. The browser default behavior is to just hide it and not let it. Yeah, I need to set overflow scroll and overflow auto, and that diff and set height to 100. I mean, probably what we really want is we want the buttons to not be within the same element that does the scrolling, but I prefer to not touch the layouting code as much as possible because we have a release coming up, and so the less I change, the better. Fixed composition fixed. Try it. Make sure. Work. What is the difference between position, sticky position, fixed? Position property. Fixed the position element position relative to the viewport. Static, yada yada yada. No, relative absolute. The position of the element will be relative to the closest positioned ancestor. Problem is still that it scrolls. CSS position, ignore scroll. Position fixed because it sets position relative to parent. When the document is scrolled, absolute position is still relative to the parent. Position fixed, broken with transform. Yeah. So how can we work around that? So people know it's not working. Oh, today I sound kind of dull in my ears. Yeah, this is much better. But the music gets really loud then. Don't know why. Don't know why. Maybe my gain is messed up. Hello. How's the volumes? If anybody's joining, let me know how the audio is. All right. Can I also use the volume on here maybe? All right. So, see that the relevant fixed would be positioned exactly where it is specified. This does not seem to be respective of parent that has translated to transfer. Okay, that's what I'm experiencing. Best method to deal with this is to apply the same translate, but break children. They need to be fixed out of the parent translate element, and then apply the translate to a diff inside the position fixed wrapper. Ugh. I prefer that. I'd like to know why this is happening. This seems a bit of a buggy behavior, if you ask me. Right, now I can't hear it at all. Alright, observe transform to the child's element. What? It doesn't do anything. Scrolls issued by targeting a class on the HTML page is added to the tag and writing is not to state but can transform none. Okay, no. Position, but it will not work in other browsers. Firefox and Safari. It works in Chrome. 2015. Okay, it might be working now. All right. Okay, let's look at Sticky. The only thing I don't like about Sticky is that I don't seem to be able to use bottom because of the way it's I'm thinking right now if it's related to scrolling off the top, because I want the bottom of the element to be So if I say -1 rem, right, and let's say I want the 1 rem to be the margin from the element to the bottom. Now, obviously, it doesn't take the height of the element into consideration, right? I'm just wondering if I could use another translate to take care of the height. So if let's say margin top, let's say -100%. What did I change the margin? Dialog options. Margin top. It eliminates the scroll somehow. What? Holy moly. Okay, that's broken. If I say top -100%. No. Like this, it doesn't scroll. This is so weird. If I say transform, translate y -100%. Brace should be here. Ah, okay. So that seems to do the trick, right? So the bottom of it should be 1 rem away. If I change this to 0, it'll be down by 1 rem. Okay. It doesn't take the margins into consideration. Okay. If I put that in here as well. Hey, Eric. Yeah, I didn't like it at the top. So it was originally the bottom. The problem with the bottom is that it would be beneath a long descriptions, and there have been quite a few puzzles with very long descriptions. So I'm trying to think if I can put it at the bottom while keeping everything else scrolling. So basically now, if I get rid of that spacing here, it's a bit silly that position sticky would still have that spacing. Oh, wait a second. Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? Well, let's move the button physically to the bottom first, because that's something we should probably be doing anyways. So it gets it generates that space. The thing is that things will scroll by underneath it. Let me think. The button is a separate element. Not sure what you mean by that. So let me bring the button back down to the bottom. So if we put these back in here, if we put these here and here, and we don't need to do this. Okay, and now if we change this from whatever mess I put together here to having bottom 1 rem. Get rid of top. Okay. Now the question. Okay, wait. Let's actually test that out. I'll actually need something with a short description. But I don't want to. It's not a custom dialog. Like I have a generic dialog component. It doesn't know that there's rules in it, and it might work different for different contexts, right? So I don't want this to be generic. Although I think that's how the SudokuPad one works. But if I can do only a CSS change, that would be much better. So instead of doing this, so if I do position sticky, instead of doing these, I'll do bottom 1 rem like this. Okay, no scroll, that's fine. All right, scroll. All right, and with 2 buttons, this, and then we'll put something behind it. So we can do something like background, RGBA, I don't know, 50, 50, 50, 0.3. Just quickly, just to see what it would look like if we did something to cover that area. That area we'd want to, would actually want to be the other way around, right? We would want it to be white and then semi-transparent to lighten things up, but we would want it to stretch from edge to edge. So bottom would be 0 rem, right? But we'd want to have padding 1 rem 0, something like that. And then margin would be 0, like that. Right? And here it would look like that. Yeah, like on a dialog that doesn't extend, you wouldn't actually see anything. And let's do one with a super short or no rules text. Okay, so that looks fine. And we can make this even more opaque like that, maybe. Well, but it doesn't actually gain you anything, right? I mean, if I do this, the same difference, right? Now the text doesn't go under the button, but you don't gain anything. Structurally, you know what I mean? The only thing is concerning might be dark mode stuff. Also, I'd like to have the edges to be soft. Now this still works. Well, then I can just make this opaque, right? That's it. Now the question becomes, okay, what does it look like with multiple buttons? Not really a problem. Now the problem is it won't work for, like, this will only do it for the dialog options setup. So there are systems that don't use it, dialogs that don't use it. So for example, this is what the settings dialog will look like now, which I think is better. Having the back button there, always visible. Oops, no, that's not a dialog. Okay. What would that look like? The rules. Yep. The nice thing is we can grab it from here to scroll as well. Pause dialog. Yep. Any other dialogues? I mean, they technically work the same way now, but you just don't see the difference. One issue I have potentially is with dark mode. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah. So for dark mode, we don't want that to be black. We don't want that to be white. So if I use the variables that I've set up for colors, so maybe if I go body BG, I don't actually know what the background color is of the dialog here. Let's find out. So color is background color DM black. And if I am in light mode, background color just white. Okay, so we probably want body BG then. So if I make this background body BG, something like that. Okay. And in dark mode, it'll look like that. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think that's too big of a change at the moment. So we don't need that anymore. Now it does depend on this dialog getting updated to move everything back to the bottom, but I'm okay with that. That's something that I've only added recently anyways. Putting the buttons to the top. Then we'll have that. So if I get rid of these. No, so we got rid of the margins. Position sticky. Probably should go to the top here. Padding, margin. Position, bottom, background. We'll do all this. Actually, let's move all this to the top here. I think that should do the trick. Nope, go back. Okay, and on the long text, hey Andy. Import export palette page. Good question. A good question. Let's see. Import, export, palette, dialog. It doesn't scroll. It doesn't scroll here. Let's see if we can make it scroll. Maybe on the Nexus. It's quite an old phone. No. If we rotate. Come on. Let me rotate. Nope. Hate that the rotate button isn't available. It's so silly. Nexus 6P. God damn it. Rotate. The grab scrolling here isn't working very well. Probably because I'm not running my custom code here and just relying on regular scrolling. What happens to the third button? Import, export. Third button. Are you talking about the import button here? I mean, that's the only button that's actually an option here. If I don't make it an options object, then it wouldn't have that behavior, which might be more desirable for that particular dialog. Yeah, because there's no point seeing that button there. So import, export. There's no point seeing that button if you don't have access to the actual field. So if we go here, instead of making this, oh, because I have multiple options elements here. Ah. Ooh, that's how I'm handling it here. I mean, I could get rid of using these options elements here. I have two choices. I can go a different direction and make it an additional setting that I have to explicitly request, i.e. just a class on the options. That's one way. Then I have to retrofit any dialogues with it that I want, where I want it to have. And that's probably the sensible thing to do. I can not use options here and just use plain buttons, which also makes sense. Like it does make sense for this dialog for it to scroll. I think I'm gonna use it as a custom setting. I think it sounds a lot safer. So instead of doing all of this, let's see, did I touch anything else in here? No. So let's take this, just discard all, wait, make sure I copied them. just discard that, right? Find dialog options, right? And then we'll go here and we'll make a new class. So we don't need these 3, these 4, right? And we'll make this, I don't know. So dialog sticky. Or we're just going to do it like this. Something like that. So now this should no longer work that way. Yep. But we can now go in here and just make this sticky. Something like that. Almost like plain CSS. So, yeah, I'm trying to remember what the specifics here are. Dialog options, dialog options, class sticky. I don't. Oh, I think our framework doesn't support classes on dialogs. Of course not. Of course it doesn't. Is that something I want to add as a feature right now, though? That's the question. Create element. If I go to options, multi options. All right, dialog options. Options. Opts. And we might want to merge these. Class name sticky. Options.class name. I can basically do this, right? I can say, I probably want to do this, move this to the end, just to keep my sanity here a little bit. You know, let's spread this out a little bit. And then we can do opts.class name. If we have it, we want to add a space, stick that in there. Else, nothing. Something like that, right? And now we're losing something here. Because it replaces the dialog options class. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Why would it do that? Class name sticky. Dialog options. This is a string. I'm guessing I need braces around here. I think that's the mistake. And now it's like that. Okay, so that's now how it was before. Okay, we have the fixed thingy magic here now. It should be here also, but any other dialog right now doesn't have the behavior until I add it. Okay, so now we can add it to various dialogues on request. We'll just need to clean this up a little bit. Like that, maybe. Like that. So that's adding this feature. So we can now add class names. And I think I've needed this before. We want that there. So let's look at other dialogues, right? Tag. Actually, oh, tag options. So probably most of these show rules dialog. So for example, right now, where is it? Rules dialog. doesn't have this. Stick this in here. Now rules dialog should have it. Rules dialog. Wrong button. Sorry, I'm not... Until I start using the dark mode myself, it will never be good. And right now it's just not good enough for me to use it. So that's a bit of a chicken and egg situation. Okay. What else we got? We got this one. Settings. Settings. Yeah. So we'll do it on the settings dialog, I think. So that's fine. Settings. No, that's not settings. Settings. That's fine. Where else? What's this one? That's the one we just did. What's this one? That's that one. What's this one? Open link. We probably don't like. There's certain dialogues which are never going to be very big, so the link open ones won't need it. I like the restart doesn't. It doesn't have a lot of text, I think, so I don't think that'll ever need it. I mean, like in the future, I might make all these texts customizable by the puzzle people, but it's not too bad. I mean, worst case scenario, you just have to scroll a little bit, right? So it's mostly just for these dialogues that are kind of forced now, where you kind of always need it. On a phone, especially. Yeah, like this. I should probably change the font sizes a little bit for like extreme scales, because the font is just ridiculously big. I don't know. Does this need to be 120%? I thought I'd make it bigger initially because most dialogues had very few lines of text, so it looked kind of nice. But I don't think it was too... Oh my god, on this phone. This is terrible. It might definitely make sense to revisit all the different font sizes. Ooh. Well, Galaxy Fold is definitely a bit of a border case, isn't it? But I think the 120% might not be needed. So let's have a look if we can change that as well. I just change this. Actually, if I just get rid of it. I just do this, right? 100% font, basic text on dialogues. Maybe the Galaxy Fold is a little extreme. All right. Ooh, there's a 1 pixel thingamajig down there. All right, let's see. The other thing I'd like to do is reduce this to 0.5. I don't know how we end up with this extra pixel at the bottom here. Hey, Mark. Yeah, I've been struggling to get stuff done this week, so I figured if I stream, I get stuff done for sure. Why is there a single pixel at the bottom? Let's zoom in on that a little bit. Yeah, there's definitely a pixel. I'm just spying it through here. Where does that pixel come from? I'm pretty sure those things should line up correctly. Like, that's... You really think they should line up correctly. I mean, if I make it slightly bigger... So the sticky version right now, margin 0, padding 0.5. If I increase the padding, right? I'm guessing I still have that 1 pixel gap. Yeah, I still have that. I just have that increase. All right. So it's not the padding, it's the positioning then. So if my bottom is that, what if my bottom is -1 pixel? Now it might overlap with the gray edge. Am I still seeing something down there? I'm not sure anymore. There's something going on here. There's like a dark line, so it's not just white to gray. Let me try that. Yeah, you see, there's still something there. That's so bizarre. Okay, go away. If I go down 3 pixels, there's still something down there. Also, like it shouldn't be like that. So if I'm messing with this like that, it might on different browsers it might react differently, right? I just make this red for now. Oh no, not what? What the heck? All right, not what I was planning, but cool that I can. Like I'm seeing something. Let's see. If I recolor the background, this thing here, not of this, of the dialog itself. Background magenta. And if I spell that correctly, my God, is that hard to get letters in order? I'm also seeing the button bounce. That's probably part of the problem, right? Jeez. That's a little irritating. I'm guessing it gets into its original position at the end. So trying to modify that here is probably a fruitless endeavor. I'd like to get rid of that little empty thing there, though. Let me think. Margin padding. Margin -1. Dx 0. Can I do negative margins at the top and the bottom? Nope. It still bounces even with bottom 0. Man, I really don't like that. It's so annoying that fix doesn't work. And it only doesn't work because of the translate, and the only reason I have to use translate is because, well, all the other stuff doesn't quite ever work properly. Let me think. I don't like this. If I can keep the margin to 0. If I'm trying to think if I can just cover that, like, for example, if I just do something like border bottom 2 pixels solid red, like that should cover it, right? So if I do this with 1 pixel and the same color as the background, the problem is, like, it looks like 1 pixel here, but it might be a different number of pixels in different devices or whatever. And I'm also seeing, like, I'm seeing a white line here, I'm seeing a dark line here, but it could even be just the LCD on my monitor. I don't see the lines up here though, so let's take a screenshot and just have a closer look. Can I not zoom into this? Seriously? All right, let's zoom into this then. Yeah, look at all these. There's a white line here. Now, this could be because of the mobile view. I do it at 100%, like something like this. I'm still seeing something down there. Nope. All right. Like, there's this gray line here. I don't know where that's coming from. There's a gray line here. So it's doing something with kind of interpolating between colors. But you see these pixels behind the gray? That's the text underneath scrolling by. But I don't know why there's a 1 pixel gray line. Or why there's a dark gray line here on the left side, for example. So there's something weird going on. I mean, it's probably not a big deal. It's just, and it still bounces. It still freaking bounces. CSS sticky stop bounce. Remove bounce, scroll bouncing when combined with JavaScript height adjustment. In addition, use JavaScript to offset to a limit page. I don't think that's what I'm experiencing here. Why do they always build something and then it's like 99% good and then that 1% ruins the element, the feature, and then you can't really use it if you want things to be great. I mean, I'm tempted to just use it and say, screw it. How many people are going to do this all the time and then notice it? It's just a little unprofessional, you know what I mean? I think one of the problems is that the border adds to its in positioning relative to the outer thing by 2 pixels. Could I add margin bottom? A negative margin to compensate for the border? Or just change the box sizing model or something? I'm getting that dark line at the bottom. What if we move everything up just a little bit? So if I say bottom 1 rem, just move it up by 1 rem just to see if it still moves. Yeah, you see it doesn't actually move now. So what happens is its actual position catches up with it. Well, the padding is there, right? The padding is just the space between the button and that white box. So, but you see here it doesn't bounce. So the bottom here is different from the bottom in the sort of unstickied situation. The thing is, the bottom in the unstickied situation should still be exactly 1 rem. Yeah, there's definitely a black line coming in, right? Yeah, that black line isn't there unless I scroll to the bottom. So I'm kind of curious what that black line even is. There's one on the left side as well here. Ah, and at the top as well. Oh, Jesus Christ, what is going on with these lines? I mean, it could also be like here I don't see them, for example. Ah, what if I do this? Yeah, now I'm seeing a black line again. And at the bottom, there's a black line now. Jesus Christ. What the hell is it doing? Where is it even getting that black color from? These dark lines on the sides and the bottom. I have no idea where that dark color comes from. And in fact, here, there's a gap. You can see something from underneath shining through. So this whole box has a gap relative to its own border. Ah, it's so ridiculous. Yeah, because I obviously don't want a margin around it, right? Wait, now... Maybe now the margin doesn't matter anymore? The thing is, even without that, you see there's an extra pixel coming up. So it has nothing to do with the sticky itself. It's also present there without the sticky, without the new styling. It was always there. That does make it... That dark line at the bottom, though. Where's that coming from? Like, there's nothing there that could have that dark color. The dialog itself doesn't have it. I mean, maybe it's from the overlay underneath. If I make it red. Oh yeah, it is the overlay underneath. So you see there's a red line on either side. Okay. Now that gray outline, that's just the border, right? So there's a 1 pixel gap between the background and the border. What? WTF? Like what? Why? CSS space between background and border. Yeah. You have background on an element, then added padding would be useless. Background clip, context box, or outline offset. But there should not be a gap between the background and border. Weird white space between border and content. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing, I think. Remove the white space coming under the div with border. I used to... But where's this coming from? That doesn't give you a whole number of such... It anti-alias the border with the white hue, and what you're likely to see is more orange and white. Or it's not just anti-aliasing it, because the background color comes through. I mean, I could have another div. Jeez. I mean, I could wrap the dialog in a second div just to cover the gap, but there shouldn't be any gaps. Like, what the hell, man? There shouldn't be just random gaps. If I do a negative 1 pixel margin all the way around. No, I'm definitely still seeing a thing there. And the scroll bar is also weirdly broken now. Ah, geez. It's probably related to the transform stuff. Border radius. Border color. Yeah, I'd like to keep it... Like, am I strange to think that there shouldn't be a gap between this... Like, where you would see what's behind an object between its background color and its border color? That doesn't make any sense. Using rams and percentages. But it still doesn't make... It doesn't matter what units I'm using. Maybe box sizing is... But I'm pretty sure I'm globally using border box. And even then, it should still not introduce a freaking gap. In fact, it is border box. Ignore the problem. Nobody's complained about it. Option 1. Option 2. Just insert a random div on the outside of it to cover the gap like an idiot. And then, you know, every few months, try to remove it because I don't remember why the hell it's there. Very, very, very possible. Let's see if that would be easy enough to do. So we have a dialog overlay, dialog element. Parent would be dialog overlay element. So, and we can do let dialog bg we kind of create something very similar to this. Dark overlay, dialog BG. Parent overlay element. Don't know why I did them like that. Don't know why I did that. And then make this the parent here. I mean, that should be a fairly safe change, I'm hoping. Color the padding. Padding is inside the background. And you can't color padding because it's inside the background. There is no other color between background color and border color. That's kind of why it's so flummoxing. All right, so now we have a dialog background. And a dialog, all right. Color black. I don't know if that's necessary. Now I don't remember what I've changed because the scrolling here is screwed up. Ah, because the one pixel negative something something. Maybe I didn't. No, probably this one. Yeah. I can't scroll anymore. All right, I changed something that broke stuff. I need to make sure. I'll fix that. Don't want the margins. That just adds a gap, right? And we don't want that one really. I can't scroll anymore, and I wonder if that's because of the, and also the spacing here is all messed up. Oh yeah, because I don't want a bottom margin here. Because I want the padding instead. Because I need the margin eliminated, and I need it to be able to fill it with color. So what we really want here is we want a margin top, but no bottom margin. And then we want padding. And the top margin, we only want to add 0.5. And then we want to do padding like that. And I think that should now work either way. And the padding bottom is now going to be 1 rem. No, actually the bottom is 0 now. Like that. It still moves up though. Ah! Where the hell is that black line coming from? And it's adding 1 pixel to the contents of this thing. And it's not something that's in here. Because there's nothing else in here. Oh, and this is not really contained within. Okay. We actually need to move most of the positioning from dialog to dialog BG now. And then have the scrolling on dialog. So we want that. And for now, all the coloring and stuff and borders and all that stuff is going to happen. And even the scrolling is going to happen here. Is this going to cause us problems? I hope not. So if I do this now, basically splitting all these, oh man, it's going to be complicated and it's not going to be safe. Okay, it doesn't scroll at all anymore. Yeah, because we need to do with %. The problem is I don't know if any of this will work correctly like this because CSS is horrible. It's garbage. Yeah, like it should be 100% of its parent, but it's not. The dialog background is 661 and dialog is 800. even though I'm telling it to be 100%, right? Now, I'd have to make it relative, except I need it to be absolute. I think I might have to make this relative. Nope. How can I make something 100% of its parents? Yeah, I'm going down a rabbit's hole here. I mean, this is basic stuff. Just be the size of your parent. You can put it on div main, align self stretch to div navigation. So if I make this display flex and then align self stretch. I mean, it's like, this should be the default. It supposedly is the default behavior of divs, but that kind of stuff, but it breaks all the freaking time. And then you have to jump through hoops to make it work. Because I want two elements. I want one element to... The problem is, yeah, because now it doesn't have access to the content. Yeah, so we can't do that, right? So that's part of probably why I haven't had it like this in the first place. All right, so back to mystery gaps and spacing that shouldn't be there. All right. In a way, I'm kind of happy because adding an extra element here in the code is super risky. So I'd rather not do that. So let's just go back to how it was, and I'm even going to undo that. Let's just do that like that. Okay, so that's the other thing we added. So at least it'll scroll again. Nope. Doesn't scroll anymore. Great. So that's broken. Oh, man. Round and round in circles I go. Let's see. Well, that's open. So font size, that's fine. Margin padding should be fine. Sticky flex, yada yada. Oh, no. Display flex. Where did that come from? Sticky. No, that was already there. I don't know why I can't. Oh, because it's not. I can't drag to scroll on responsive view. All right, fair enough. But at the bottom, at the end, I'm still getting this black line here, which is just stupid. And I didn't actually find an answer of why there's a gap. Like, oh, okay. Well, instructions on how to make it. I didn't know that was possible. Essential styles, border, padding, effect, non-essential, border, solid. So the padding is outside the background? Oh, background content box. What the frick? Background content box. What the heck is that? Let's find out. Box sizing, content box. Background. No, but this is not enough. It needs to be CSS background. It needs to be relative to the background. Somehow there's a background content box. Background clip. Padding box, content box. What do these mean? Painted within, clipped to the content box. Extends to the outside edges of padding. No background is drawn beneath the border. The background extends to the outside. All right, so if I add it to, if I make it background border box like that, and we probably should change this to be just the background color. And what was this? Background sizing? Background clip. So we basically want this for dialogue. Background color, background clip. I wonder if using background set of background color overwrote that background clip somewhere. The weird thing is I feel like the white would extend outside the round corners of the border with that background clip setting, but it doesn't seem to do that. I feel like that's what it should be doing. That's what it sounds like. Well, it just shouldn't be there, right? It's not a question of complexity. It's a question of what the hell is going on here. Like if I find that it's a CSS bug and I can't fix it, fine, you know. But if it's a mistake I'm making, I'd like to know about it. Background clip. Like that doesn't seem to make any difference. Border. Like that one line, I don't really see it if the border isn't there. Although, I'm wondering now if I'm seeing something. I'm starting to... I don't even know anymore. Border. So background clip here doesn't seem to want to work. Background clip. The background is on the other edge of the border, but underneath the border in Z ordering. Background is painted within clip to the foreground text. It says going to use a background clip. Text check that the contrast ratio between... Okay. Background on a fallback background color without the image. Consider using features using it. Background box, panic box. The background only to the edge of the content box. Extends the edge of the border. Extends behind the border. So that's what I thought I was doing. Let's see. Ooh. Sec. Let's see what that actually looks like. Like maybe I'm writing it badly or something. I don't know. Background clip border box. That's pretty much exactly background clip border dash box, right? Right. Ah. But then why does changing it not change anything? That's weird. If I change background clip. That's what? Okay, here I can change it. Oh, does it imply that's the default? I think it's implying that that's the default. 1 second. Border style dotted. Border style dotted. So if I change this to border style dotted, that should imply that I now should be able to see the background underneath the border. And I do. Oh, okay. It is clipped to the border. All right. And there's no black line suddenly. Dashed. Okay, no black line. Solid. And we have the black lines. What the hell? If dash doesn't generate the black line, can I make a dash without gaps? Border style dashed. Can I specify? So if I say dashed and then do Inset. I think you found a different solution to the problem using clip path property. No. No. Inline block dashed. Dashboard generator. What does... Oh, it does linear gradients. Let's try it. Let's try it. If I can make a solid... like if I do this, right? And my dash area is just 0, 10. Right? If it's 10, 10, it should be half and half, no? 20. 20. 3. Visible, invisible intervals. 1. That doesn't seem to work at all. 0, 20, 30. 1. 10. 0. Okay. I think my border thickness is 10. Ooh. If I just make this 1, 0, or just like that. Stroke width. Oh, but that creates a stroke. Oh, it does a background image. Ooh. Oh, no, 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 no. That's not what I wanted. I thought I could use a gradient. I thought it was generating linear gradients. That's still bizarre, though. Border style solid. 1 px color edge. Hey guys. 1 pro solid complete color. What do you call it when it's a false color? Color bleed. Color gap. Three pixels double border on the left side, leaving a 1 pixel gap at the top of the border. I've tried looking extensively to see if this browser book or some kind of solution. Appears that to be a glitch in the corner shaping algorithm that leaves a mitred edge in preparation of meeting a border on a particular edge, even though there is not one. I doubt this is intended behavior, even though the spec states that the regulator does not define how borders of different styles should be joined in the corner. 2 pixels solid corner. Screenshot. If you look very close, you can see the manifestation of another potential problem. The edge of the top and side borders don't touch. Yeah, I'm not seeing where that's coming from. Border 10 pixels solid. Border style solid. Border box. If I make this content box. Content box. That doesn't work either. Unless I have no padding. Which is possible because I might have put the padding all on the content elements. Yeah. Still that 1 pixel dark line, like a gap. Border style dashed. So dashed, I guess, doesn't have those. No, it's still, dashed has the... I'm still seeing the black line. One sec, if we zoom in. Yeah, you see, oh, very clearly, the black line is there. Now that's content box, so it doesn't go behind the thing, behind the border. So if we do this with border box, then the black line goes away, but it comes back for the solid border. That is weird. So there's definitely like a weird interaction going on where with a solid border, even though border box background clip is border box, it doesn't, because I guess it thinks, oh, I don't have to. Something like that. I don't know. Bit strange. Could I get away without the border? No, not without. Oh, what if instead of a border, if we say border none, Oh, what if we do border color white? Would we still get that black gap? Yes, we do. How ridiculous. How ridiculous. Border inset 1. There's, because I'm thinking if we can do an outline or something instead of border. Border inset. See, this is inset borders. I think box shadow now. What if we do an outline? Outline 10px solid red inset. If I do this, outline, CSS outline. I used to use outlines all the time for debugging. I might have gotten the syntax wrong. Outline red solid 10 pixels. Maybe it doesn't like the inset. Ah, wait. Okay, it's outside the border. Can I make it inset? Inset. Where does the inset go, though? For the color? Maybe. Nope. Between the color and the style. Oh, that's what I hate about these. They never give you the order of these items, but apparently the order matters. Color, style, width. What is inset then? Is that inset the style? Inset. So it goes here, supposedly. Except it's still on the outside. Wait a second. Where's the black? The black lines are gone. Oh, they're back. They disappear at 90% scaling. That is bizarre. If I go to 100% here. 175. Ah, this is so weird. All right, waste enough time on this. Get rid of all of this. I'm just going to ignore it for now. So, we've got that style. 50%. Give me some space. All right, if we go to pixel 5. All right, so I think that looks fine. I forgot to review if we've got it on all. Okay, so we've got it on the settings dialog. The settings dialog doesn't have the drag scroll, so well, that's a separate issue. It's not something I'm adding now. Does it work on the short dialogs? Yeah. The buttons still seem to work fine. I mean, they should. I didn't change anything on how they functioned. And that seems to work as well. We have that stupid gap, but apparently there's nothing I can do about it. So maybe in a future rewrite we'll redesign how that stuff works. All right, so what did we do here? We updated the pause dialog. That's fine. We've added the dialog options thing and added the settings. We added the sticky class to the rules dialog. There are a couple of other dialogs where we're just not touching them. But for now, I think the main dialogues where that bugged me is that initial startup dialog on mobile, because the button at the bottom is actually better for touch devices. And now the button is always reachable and it's not off screen. If I go here, the buttons are always reachable and never off screen, and that's really all I wanted, to be honest, right? Ooh, all right. This is just a little patch. And this is probably one of the last changes I'm going to do unless there's more bugs being discovered. So we can get the release ready maybe this weekend. All right, let's see where we're at. I'm going to wind down the stream now as well. It's getting late. I got other things I need to take care of. Let's see. So moved dialog options buttons to bottom. I think that's all we need. And I think that makes sense for all of these. All right. Might as well update the puzzles database. I should test this. Oh, I don't feel like it. I'm just gonna put it on beta. I need to get going. So maybe you guys want to test this for me. I would appreciate that. All right, and that should push these changes. There we go. All right, I think that's it. I think I've managed to do what I wanted to do for this dialogue. Get these buttons to the bottom, and it's a mostly CSS solution, so that's good. And yeah, the app update is the next big thing. All right, that's it for me. I gotta go and take care of the dog and dinner and the family and all that stuff. Thanks for hanging out. Take care. Have a good weekend. And, please test it and let me know if there's anything I broke. Thanks, guys. Take care. Ciao, ciao.